Hey YouTube land, Anders here, coming back at you with another action figure review, and today we are looking at the Sons of Horus Legion Apothecary. This is another figure from the good folks at Joytoy, and this is from their 1/18 scale Warhammer 40,000. Well, it's Warhammer 30,000 for these ones because this is the Horus Heresy figures. So this is one of the Beakies, as they're known, and it is the Beaky with the apothecary setup, which means he is basically a medic. So we'll have a quick look at his box and bring it up there. You can see him in all his glory on the front of the box, and you can see it says contains one 12.2 centimeter collector's action figure and accessories. This is ages 15 and up. Flipping around the side of the box, we have the apothecary name, Sons of Horus. This is the Sons of Horus Legion. Flipping onto the back of the box, we have a plethora of images of the figure in just different poses. When we get into the figure, we will have a look at those accessories. It is interesting to note one thing on this figure, which I will get to, but just so you can see what he comes on inside the box. Comes on a plastic tray. I have not taken out his little stand, but he does come with a clear plastic stand. It's the same clear plastic stand that most figures come with now. It seems to be a default thing. So it comes with one of those and one of those what are the things there? The things for dampness, the kind of soaks up dampness on in case the figure gets damaged in transport. It's like the oxygen absorption thing, the the damp absorption little doohickey. Comes with one of those in the box, and then you just have the 40k logo again. So we're going to have a quick look at the figure. We're going to pause here, look at the figure and see how he goes. Here is the figure in all his glory. Right, I'm just going to pull back a bit so you can see a good bit of the figure. Just bring him up closer to the camera, do a 360. You can see him in all his lovely glory. He does come with some accessories. In fact, one of the accessories he doesn't come with is this. I had it there for a reason, and it is one of the reasons. So this is the basic bolt pistol from a Sons of Horus Marine, namely this guy, which is another Beaky. This is my one and only other Beaky, so I will be using him as a size comparison in a minute. But that version of the Beaky comes with one of these. He doesn't come with a chainsword, which is interesting. This guy comes with the chainsword option, so you have a kind of ornate looking chainsword which has some nice detailing. Let's pry it out of his hand if I can. I will try doing this on camera. I could be a bit messy, so do forgive me. So this is the chainsword he comes with. This is his only kind of melee weapon, or holding weapon. And it is nicely done. It is quite different to the standard kind of Space Marine one, where the standard Space Marine swords tend to not have the hand guard. They tend to just like stop there and then have the handle. Yeah, some of them do, some of them don't, but the figures that I've seen, for the most part, the ones that don't have that extra hand guard piece. It doesn't have the little curved piece up here either. They generally tend to be straight. So this is it's supposed to denote the earlier edition of a chainsword. They haven't changed much in the design. They're pretty much bog standard for what they are. They're a sword with a chainsaw, basically. He does come with a pistol grip finger hand, which is interesting because he doesn't come with actual pistol. But what he does come with, which is kind of interesting because it's an odd choice, it is a separate piece in the box. He comes with this pistol holster, which you can see there is a pistol in, and I'm assuming it is one of these bolt pistols, even though scaling wise it probably is a little bit too big. It could be a plasma pistol. He does come with a quite ornate backpack, but we'll get into that. I'll pull it off in a second. You have his medic symbol here, which is raised icon, which is actually on his shoulder, unlike his other Marine counterpart, where the chapter symbol is just painted on. This grenade is a little all over the place. It isn't a straight up reuse of parts, which is a nice thing. There is some kind of parts kind of mixed and matched, but like the legs, you can see it is a different design. You have this separation between the plates where they connect together, whereas this guy doesn't have that. I'll move him off again. Now, his left hand is going to be in a kind of, it's not a fixed pose, you can move it around, but you can't swap out the left hand. He only has right hands that he can swap out with. And that is because his left hand has the, I cannot remember the name of it, it has a specific name. It's like the, it's a something carium. I know I'm butchering the, not remembering it right, but it's their like medical device that they use for extracting the gene seed from a fallen space marine. So when a space marine gets injured on the battlefield, so again, we'll use this guy as a sample since he's there. So boom, he falls over. This guy comes over. If he's not too wounded, he will patch him up. But if he's beyond repair, this injector thing goes in, pulls out the gene seed, goes into one of these little pods, and I believe he stores them somewhere on his person. I'd imagine he stores them somewhere on his backpack, because it looks like it has some sort of like storage thing. But you get the general gist. He's supposed to basically store stuff for fallen space marines. So there is that. We will take his backpack off because it is a separate piece, if I can do it without it popping off. So when I first got this as well, these were rotated around the wrong direction, just so you know. He's a little spotlight and whatever this sensor is, but they just swivel. They're in easy enough swivel, and the vents do swivel like on most Space Marine backpacks. It is interesting to see that his vent part is slightly different to this guy's, whereas this guy just has like a single hole kind of vent thing on his one. It's supposed to be the same, from the same era backpack. This one has like diagonal vents going across it, which is quite an interesting take. So we will bring in Mr. Tape Measure once I get his backpack back on. And we can have a look at how tall he is, because he is taller than a regular Space Marine. Sorry if my hands are blocking the way, but he is taller than the regular Space Marines with that backpack piece. So bringing in good old Mr. Tape Measure. Whoop. He stands just around 5, was I 6? Just a shy of 6 inches with the backpack. If I bring Tape Measure back over to this guy, you can see he stands with his backpack, because it is part of the highest point on him. He's around 5. So you're getting like an extra inch practically in height on this guy, which is kind of cool. Articulation, I did a review video for this guy, I'm pretty sure. He has pretty much the same articulation bar that this hand. So we'll move you out of the way and we'll get into the articulation. So head is on a ball joint, so it can rotate around, gives a good range of movement. If you have an alternate head, you could probably pop this off and pop in one of the bare heads, like the unhelmeted heads. His arms move out. They kind of, I'm not sure I can get on camera, but there's an extra hinge that makes it kind of pop itself forward, just so you can get a better pose with the weapon if you wanted. Well, it's mainly designed for the two-handed bolt gun poses, but because this guy doesn't really have two hands to holding, this thing is pretty much unusable. It's like going to be this all the time unless you customize it and pop the whole arm off and replace it. But it does swivel. It still has the double jointed elbow. It just doesn't swivel here on the pipes. I would be wary about the pipes maybe snapping or becoming brittle over time, so that is something to just be take a note of. The backpack, as you saw, was removable and has those swivel pieces. His body has a waist joint. His legs can go out that much. He's not too hindered by the front skirt. He can kick forward. He has dual knees. He has the ball joint on the foot. He has a little peg hole for his base, and then he has a small hinge on the front of the toe, or where the front toes would be. He does have some pockets and pouches that are pre-attached. So this one is, you can pop these out and you can pop this one, as I said, this one is separate, so it does come separate to them. These ones are pre-attached, this cabling with whatever this device is on his chest. Then you have these hoses, so another thing just to be wary of, over time they could become brittle depending on where they're stored or how they're displayed, and it could deteriorate because they're just a rubber material. Sometimes, depending on the company, they might use a bad batch for the rubber material, so it could split, break, whatever it is over time. It is interesting to note that his chest piece, this loinclothy bit that goes down his front, is a separate rubber piece. It's just kind of like glued in the areas that it's attached to. So this, you could in theory pull this thing off if you wanted to, but his chest, oh, there goes that thing. The peg on this tends to be very soft and floppy. But as I was saying, if you were to pull that off, the chest wouldn't look the same as one of these guys, which has the kind of more classic, if I just rotate his hand out of the way, these are the classic kind of triangle piping thing going on, where they come, or trifecta piping, whatever way you want to call it. But he is pretty cool. He still has the nice red eye lenses, and this guy follows through on that. You can see the red eye lenses on here, and he has like the bionic eye, which I believe is supposed to kind of simulate those old school things that doctors used to have, you know, the big kind of disc with the kind of bulb on it that they used to have on their heads. I'm not sure what the medical name for those things are, but they were like for either reflecting light so they could see better on stuff, or they're for magnifying things. His backpack is pretty cool. As I said earlier, he does have that symbol repeated on this, the same one that he has in his arm, although it has the skull above it, and then he has these kind of canisters for holding stuff on the side. So all in all, he is a pretty cool chunky little lad. So just to show a quick scale comparison between a 2.0, now I know they're going with 3.0 figures now, which people are a bit miffed at because they seem to be doing another scale creep where they're going to be even taller yet again. But here is one of the intercessors from, I believe this is 2.0 intercessor, because he is taller than one of my other ones, the Dark Angel one. And oh, his other accessory is just a punchy fist, which I kind of glossed over. The hands are pretty standard. So his grip hand for the chainsword, a pistol grip hand for a non-existent pistol that he doesn't actually come with, but he can hold on, as case there. You could give him the bolt gun as well if you wanted to. And then you have the chainsword, and if you have the two of these, which is actually interesting, you could give this guy the bolt gun and then just kit this guy out with the chainsword and bolt pistol and have him as a sort of assault marine. It's up to yourself. But all in all, he is a pretty cool figure. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm going to hopefully edit in some quick close-up shots of this guy as well, while just give something a little bit more visual and nice to look at. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this quick video review. I am trying to get back into doing the videos. It's just I haven't had a chance to with the weather. It's been pretty bad here, and because where I record has a pretty open metal roof, the rain smacking off it makes doing this audio stuff kind of hard to do, and it's a bit, you wouldn't be able to hear me as much. So there you go, guys. Going to wrap this up here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers, thanks for watching, and as always, please hit the like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.